Hey guys, Corey here. Welcome to Blue Talks, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Toronto, this beautiful building. Amazing artwork in here and some fantastic windows. It's also now, so I'm gonna pray I don't have to pull a beautiful mind and go and rap on the window and tell the construction people to be quiet. If you understand that, it's one of my most favorite movies. I'm a few things. I'm gonna swear. If somebody was to say, "How do you put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag?" I figured it out. From diaper bags to laundry bags to a multi-purse piss bag I carried for a long time. I also started collecting bags and hoarding bags, not realizing that I was compartmentalizing a bunch of things in my life. I started out young, not knowing what I wanted to do when I grew up, to special needs development coordinator, coach, and among other things. I was propelled into the dry cleaning industry at 21. And by 23, I had 50 staff, 27 locations, and I'm now standing here as your vice president of the Dry Cleaning Association of Canada. Hopefully soon to be the first female president within the next 2 years. I have a mission to accomplish a lot of things. That being said, I'm going to teach you something that you're not expecting from me by way of labels. Now, I want you all to put your hands flat down for a minute, release whatever you've got, your phone or whatever, and you're going to find a care label in your clothing, okay? That little instruction piece feels silky. I want you to actually look at that for a second or feel for it. Be on your scarf, back of your collar, inside of your jacket, back of your pants, okay? It's okay, just hold it. And I want you to hold that while I'm talking to you for a minute. Like, let it go, but hold that in your mind, okay? Okay? I'm going to take you down a different path. I'm going to take you through 4 seasons. 4 seasons of garment care and 4 seasons of your life, okay? Dry cleaners during the pandemic became the new therapist. We had people coming in who were experiencing funerals, birth of babies, okay? New jobs they couldn't attend in person. All of the things that we've experienced, myself included, losing both my parents, which propelled my writing career. I had to fight and advocate, much like many, and became an official adult, which I still give a 1-star rating sometimes. I want you to think about the first time somebody ever gave you a label. Okay? You're given your name. And with that name, you started to develop an identity. Some of us liked it. Some of us didn't. So I hate clothes. They're shit. Okay? They're shit. And I'm going to tell you why. They put us into this size box. They tell us we're not enough if we're not wearing their brand. They make us feel sick when we've worn them for too long. They stretch, they're synthetic, and they're laden with chemicals, which I will be fighting for to have a change, not only for us, but for our EMS as well. Okay. So when you're holding your label or your brand, think about who you are as an individual and not Adidas or Nike or whomever. But if you love those brands, I need someone to tell me why. Why are we loving these companies that are producing products that aren't healthy? There are 300,000 manufacturers in the world, and 4% of them are actually doing good for the environment. Okay? Dry cleaners are actually here. You want to think of us as a broker. We are here to help sustain your clothing. We are not someone to be feared or rejected. We are here to help the longevity of your clothing, to help keep it repaired and altered. We're help to make it fit you better. Okay? So think about spring. In the springtime are 0 to 12. During the spring part of our life, we are given clothes that someone else usually buys for us, right? Our grandparents, our aunts, sometimes school uniforms, those kind of things. We go outside, we wear those clothes. We start to grow, right? We have shoes, boots, rubber boots. I love the rain, rubber boots, coats, and things like that. What starts to happen when we are growing from 0 to 12 is that label of who we are starts to change. We are no longer a small child being held at bedtime. We're exuding a little bit of independence. We're sneaking out of our bed at night, some of us crawling out of cribs or whatever. And what starts to happen is that label starts to manifest into something different. We identify with a TV show, maybe a friend outside, maybe somebody we admire on the street. That care label is going to change again as soon as we hit puberty, 12 to 13, in our summer season. And in summer, we start to identify with something a little bit more different. And especially now in this world, we're not even being told about our mental health. We're trying to fit into a label that doesn't exactly fit us because we were never taught how to read it properly. Care labeling is so much more than what we think it is, and it is so much more than what a manufacturer has taught us to read it as. It comes with symbols, right? It comes in different languages. It comes in all kinds of things. They're usually typically black and white, which our world isn't black and white. And it's so unfair to put us in a category that we may not fit into. Okay, I love black and white. I don't love wearing white, and that's why I don't eat in it. I wear black all the time because I like to feed my clothes. And if they could talk, which 100% they do, they tell us all kinds of things, right? So you think about that label in the morning when you're getting up out of bed. And how many days did you want to just wear pajamas? I know I've had those days. And I've had many a days where I'd want to put a costume on, which I started during the pandemic. And during my summer years, I would wear sparkly things and people would try and tell me, no, you can't wear that. You can't do that. That's not the label I gave you. And I rebelled, and I love that. I rebelled and said, hey, God, not right now, okay? I said, I want to wear what I want to wear, and if I want to wear mismatched socks, you can't tell me no. Until a movement came. And I work with adults with Down syndrome, and that's exactly what we do. We wear mismatched socks to do something different. During our summer years, we don't often get to do the things that we wanted to do because someone else's label said, we don't have enough money. We can't go to that store. You can't wear that brand. And then you start getting bullied or whatever, which I did. And I had to buy clothes through the church at one point and was at the food bank, been there and done that and experienced that. My label has changed. My label has changed. And that's why I like to teach people how to read them, because we need to teach people how to read our label instead of us trying to decipher what it is. We need to teach them. And so our voice needs to be a little bit louder. We need to be okay with who we are. And we need to use our creativity and use our experience and become who we are meant to be as our label. We identify who we are. Society is trying really, really, really hard to tell us who we are. We have to go here. We have to look like this. We have to fit this image of whatever their product is. I love to have them test me and try and sell me makeup products. I don't wear it. I don't wear anybody else's brand, but the brand that fits me and who I am. So you'll never see me in a dress because I hate them. I don't like all the things that come with them. It means hair, makeup, nails, pantyhose, and all the crap. And women, we spend thousands of dollars to look an image. Why? So that someone else says we're a good label for them. We can sit at their table. We can ride in their car. We can carry their purse. We can stand on their stage. We can have a ticket to their event. But not only that, it happens to men. If you don't have leather shoes on, or a specific briefcase, or a high-end vehicle, women don't look at you, do they? Why? Because a label has done that. It's okay to be in a minivan. Own it. Rock that. My 16-year-old nephew's looking for one right now, if anybody has one. I drive a pickup truck and it's dirty, I like to run over things and I like to get dirty and I like clothes that do that. But I can also put a dress on if I absolutely have to. And if you see me in it, it's because I'm being paid. So I'm not doing it on purpose. I like my boots, I like my shoes, and I like to be comfortable. And yes, I wear ugly sweaters. I'm a professional mascot as well for the National Grief Association. So you'll see me and her if you visit my social media. I am not techie. That's how you reach me. I would rather a handshake and a phone call any day, all day long, handwritten note, whatever. I'm not on all the things. I don't have time for all those things. I'm old school. I have other things to do and put in my 10-pound bag of crap. So let's get into fall. Okay, this is a beautiful season right now anyways. Check out your coats and your sweaters. What's going on in this season of your life, right? Fall is, I'm going to say 25 to 45 because we're all in a different season of how our upbringing brings us there. Fall brings a lot of change. A lot of us are in fall right now. And I'm definitely in fall because I'm not quite ready to retire. I don't know if I ever will. But winter is soon coming. This is a season of putting our tires on our vehicles, right? Making sure we've got that extra sweater. How about an umbrella, that hat, and that scarf? Fall brings all of these changes to our life that we need to have, that we don't think that that label is demanding, and yet it does. Fall has a lot of other things. We're changing our food. We're changing our relationships. We're preparing our houses or our apartments or our vehicles if we're living in them. We are changing a lot of different things. We also might be changing where we are physically if we're getting prepared to move to a different location during fall. We're also thinking about retirement down the road. We're thinking about our families that are attending schools or universities. We're also thinking about other things in our life that fall has to offer. It doesn't mean fall down. It means fall forward. And the time change gives us an opportunity to do so much more with that, with our own labeling system. We're able to have a look at the foods that we're canning. We're able to look at blankets that we're getting out. How about the movies that we find comforting? We're able to put those track pants on or those leggings. We're able to get into new things that are offered to us during fall. Because when winter comes, we're not prepared for it. We haven't talked about our retirement with our family. We haven't done our will. And there's another label that comes with that. And we start to forget who we really are in our life journey. With winter comes a lot of things. And for those of you that know me very well, I do toboggan and I do make snowmen often. And I still play at the park. And I'm an avid ice skater. And I'm a snowshoe coach for the Special Olympics. So for me, winter isn't going to be a winter where I'm stuck in bed or behind a TV screen because I love being outside. We have a beautiful country. And despite everything else that's going on, we're not seeing what we have right here. I didn't wake up this morning under rubble, right? We're not having to worry with a lot of the things that we have to worry with on a daily basis. Yet another label we're given as Canadians. We're supposed to be okay and accepting of what's going on in our country. We don't really have to, and I'm not a politician, or am I going to promote that, but we have to be mindful of the labels that we're wearing because they are also part of who we are, where we live, what we're doing, and where we're going. And any brand that you are developing, you are now also creating that label. Who are you as a podcaster? Who are you as an actor, speaker, right? Who are you as an author? What is your brand and what is your label? Because once that label gets put on there, and if it's a sticker, it ain't coming off too easy. I know that, right? A lot of us. So care labeling in life in general, for most of us, has become something that we don't think about. We take that label that we're looking at on our sweater and we go, oh, it's got a circle on it. I got to go to a dry cleaner. Who wants to pay for that? Right? But you've invested in that sweater. You've invested in that jacket. And you're going to wear it 10 more times and it's going to get dirty and then it's going to get stinking and then your zipper slider is going to fall off. I almost said something dirty. And so what starts to happen is we tend to forget. I'm authentic. What tends to happen is we forget how to look after those things. But that label is there to tell you that investment that you made is meant to be followed. Follow your care labeling system that you give yourself and don't let anybody else read your label wrong. Work on that label. Be authentic in yourself. Hold your truth. Be who you are supposed to be. And if you're becoming that person, let people know. This is the way that I want to be represented. And if you're going to wear a hat or glasses or shoes or a coat or something that speaks about who you are, you do that. And you don't let any other brand influence you other ways unless they're good for the environment, they're good for your health, they hold their value, they have good recycling practices. How about the sweatshops? I can't even get into how clothing is being made right now. How are we not aware of all of the things that go on with a label that we carry and wear every day? Multiples, right? We probably all have 4 or 5. I know I've got 3 or 4. I was counting earlier. My hat even says, be true to myself. And that's why I wear it every day now, because it is a true way of my being, other than the fact that I hate doing my hair. But I love my hat. It's become a part of who I am. And it's a label that I wear proud. And I'm happy to tell people where to find it when they ask me. I don't hold myself back. But I learned along the way as a dry cleaner that manufacturers are constantly coming at us to buy their product. Fast fashion has come around. And we're having a hard time as an industry cleaning and maintaining these products that are only being made to wear for 10 or 15 wears, and they're falling apart. And it's no fault of our own. We can't restore all of them, but we can help last a little bit longer. We can put those new zippers in, if you're into vintage shopping, please do that. If you don't know where to take something, take it to a shelter. I also support homeless shelters. So if you can be mindful of the labeling that you're wearing, the mental health that your label is. So I advocate for that as well. Make sure that your clothing is a true representative of who you are, and that label is easily read by those in your life that need to read that. Because if you don't tell them how to read your label, they're not going to know what your wash cycle is, what your tumble time is. They're not going to know that you need to be folded twice. They're not going to know that you're living out of your dryer, which I do on occasion. They're not going to know what that pile in your living room means. They're not going to know about that bag in the front hall of clothes that you bought you don't want to tell anybody. Right? I've done that. They're not going to tell you about all the mismatched socks that you don't know what to do with, and they do in fact live in your washer or your dryer or in the bottom. That's where they go. They go with the Tupperware lids and all the other crap. Right? It's a part of life. And what we don't understand is that our laundry, at the end of the day, our laundry is a direct reflection of who we are. Right? If you think about your wash cycle, your dry time, your hang time, are we a hang to dry? Are we a lay flat to dry, rather? Are we on a stretched out hanger? Are we folded carefully in a cupboard? How are we taken care of? And are we actually dry cleaning the things that need to be dry cleaned? Because not only are they going to keep you healthy, they're going to last longer, and your investment is going to be so much better. If you're going to be investing in a product that you want to wear, make sure it holds value to you, from the people that are manufacturing that to how you want to feel. If you don't feel like $1 million, I'm telling you right now, Gucci is not going to make you feel like $1 million, nor is Adidas, okay? It's in here. Your cabling is in, your care label is right here. It's not the one that I made you touch. It's right here, right? This is your care label. This is your care label. And this is how you learn to care for yourself. And if it took a dry cleaner to teach you how to look after yourself, then so be it. I'll do that for you. And you can find me any day to help you read any other label. That's it.